kaninong, ay si Ma'am Reg, kaninong luha ba yon? Alright, so once again, this is Gurography, okay, sa Free Let Review Hub. Yan, so if gusto nyo mag-backboards, message nyo lang ako, okay, pero i-message nyo na ako doon sa Blue App, okay, wag nyo na akong i-message dito, okay, ay, bayan, okay, wait. So, i-message nyo na ako sa Blue App, ha, para, kasi doon yung ating, ala, saan na yun? Okay? I-message nyo ako sa Blue App. Okay? Alright. And then, meron tayong mga, i-check nyo yung mga, yung mga ating mga videos. Okay? Kung alam ko na busy kayo, pero tignan nyo yung mga actual. Kasi, di ba, andun na yun eh. Yung mga nagtatanong, ano pa yung ganito? Ibig sabihin, hindi nyo tinignan. So, tignan nyo, ha? Alright. So, let's start. Alright? So, ba't bumalik na naman tayo sa Happy Valentine's? Alright, so social science tayo, guys. Sa social science. Okay. Alright, so this is the TOS. Yan. Kumusta kayo dyan sa Okay ba ang nyo dyan sa Blue App? Alright, so of course, recall round tayo. So which type of obligation is the poll tax? Which was historically required before a person could exercise the right of suffrage? Okay, is it monetary or non-monetary? Yan. So which type? Happy Valentine's, Sir Genesis, of obligation is the poll tax, which was historically required before a person could exercise the right of suffrage. Okay. Monetary or non-monetary. Yes, Ma'am Rosalinda. Okay, dyan ko inubos yung oras ko kahapon. Imbes na aralin ko pa yung ile-lesson ko, inubos ko yung oras ko dyan dahil sa kapalit ng mga okay? So, ano yung sagot nyo? Monetary or non-monetary? Yan. So, RR1, lagay nyo dyan. Recall round 1. Yan. So, ano yung ating sagot? RR1, okay. Is it monetary or non-monetary? Yan. M or NM, ganun lang yon, okay? Ano yung inyong sagot? Okay. Alright. Okay, very good. Yes. And may natanggap ba kayong flowers ngayon? Meron ba? Kasi kung wala, iyan. O, meron akong rose doon. Yan. So, tama yung monetary. Okay? So, ulitin ko po ulit ha. Kaya minsan hinahabaan ko yung tanong kasi linalagay ko na lahat doon actually yung mga information. Kasi baka next time, yung ano yung nasa, hindi pala next time, maraming pagkakataon kung ano yung nasa tanong, yun yung next na hahanapin. Okay, yun pala yung kukuning sagot. Okay, yan. Kaya linalagay ko na yan. So, basahin nyo na mabuti, namnamin nyo. So, ang ano ba yung sa question nakalagay na doon? Ang poll tax pala ay para to exercise the right of suffrage noon yon. Okay, and I also mentioned before, wala tayong ganyan. What we have is non-monetary. Okay, meaning kailangan mong 18 years old ka, kailangan kang mag-register, yung mga ganun, okay? Yan, number RR2. Okay, the provision, this act shall be known as the Academic Recovery and Accessible Learning Program Act, refers to which Republic Act? Okay, RA 11934 or RA 12028. Okay, pwede nyo lang ilagay yung yung number. Yan. So this is Aral Law. Okay, RA number 11934 or RA 12028. Yan. Nabanggit ko din, maalala nyo, yung RA number 11934 is yung pinakaunang na sign ng ating presidente Marcos Jr. Okay, yan. So, yan ba yan? Yan ba yung 11934 ba yung aral or 12028? Okay, good job. Yes. So, yan. We have another rose. Yes. So, it is RA number 12028. Yung 11934 is ano? Ano yon? Para saan yon? Registration ng alin po yon? Yung 11934. 11934 is Okay, very good. Yes, so SIM Registration Act. Okay, yan yung pinakauna. Alright, very good. Next, supporting extremist groups that planned violent attacks against the government. Okay, is it financing terrorism na RA 10168 or money laundering na RA 9160? Yan. Supporting extremist group that planned violent attacks against the government. Okay? Financing terrorism RA 10168 ba yan or money laundering? Okay. Parang road to 2 a.m. na naman ata tayo, ano? Mhm. Okay, thank you for sharing the live. Yan, thank you for liking the live. Yan. Hopefully, kahit na RR naman tayo, pag nag-a-appeal naman ako, ina-approve naman nila. Ibig sabihin, nagkakamali sila sa pag-RR sa atin. Okay? Yan. Okay. Ano yung sagot nyo dyan? Okay, very good. Yes, of course. Ano ba yung mga tawag dun sa extremist groups? Okay, so itong terrorism. Okay, very good. Yes. Alam naman natin yung money laba-laba, okay? Yan is ano, yan sa movement ng pera, okay? So illegal to legal, yan. Kaya nga sinasabi nila wina-wash nila para maging malinis. All right. So tama po kayo diyan. Another rose for you. O, nakatatlo na kayo. Okay, an IQ test given before admission which is used by schools to determine general intelligence which has blank that measures specific attributes of students. Maraming nagkamali dito last time. Is it content validity or construct validity? Yan. So, yung minemeasure niya is yung general intelligence. Yun lang yun. Yun lang. Pinasimple lang siya. Okay? Yan. So, is it content validity or construct validity? Hmm. Kapag ano, may nagkamali pa dito, ulit-ulit ko na to ha. Yan, high yield pa man din to guys. High yield. Char, kung maka-high yield naman ako ano. Alright. Okay. Okay, yes, very good. Yes. So ang sagot niyan ay construct validity. Okay? Alright, yes. So, construct validity po yon kasi yung general intelligence it's an abstract concept, okay? So, ulitin ko ulit kasi baka may mga bago. Pag sinasabi niya, it is the type of validity that measures the concept that it wants to measure. Yung concept na yun is yung yung abstract concept like general intelligence, yung mga ganon. Motivation, happiness, yan, okay? So, it's construct validity. Alright. Who was the American soldier who fired the first shot at and started the Filipino-American War? Orville Miller ba yan or si William Grayson? So, who is the American soldier who fired the first shot and started the Phil-Am War? Orville Miller ba yan or William Grayson? Okay, yan. Diyan sa Santa Mesa, okay? Kaya nag-start yung Battle of Manila, okay? Yan. So, sino? Zeno. Okay. Very good kayo dyan. Okay, walang tao sa ano. Lumipat sila lahat dito muna sa Team Supremo kasi mabilis nga naman. Okay, very good kayo dyan. Si William Grayson. Okay, baka gray ang sky noon. Okay, yan. Okay, so itong si Orville Miller, kasama naman niya yan. Parehas sila na private at that time. Okay, so that ends our uh, recall round. Yan. So, gusto ko mag ano na tayo, mag-socksai shuffle na tayo. Okay, yan. Para yung mga andito naman na ano na for free is ano, maka ano na, naabutan nila yung socksai shuffle. All right. Yan. So in educational psychology, a teacher notices that when faced with a difficult group project, some students become frustrated and give up quickly, while others see it as a challenge and persist in finding solutions. The concept that best describes this capacity to persevere and cope with difficulties, setbacks, and stress is known as A. Emotional quotient, B. Intelligence quotient, C. Adversity quotient, or D. Social quotient. Yan. So, ilagay nyo pa yung number aking Mahal. Okay. So, dito muna tayo then sa ano, sa QQ ha. Ay, sa QQ. Sa Nicknock. Okay? Yan, para, mhm. Tama ba yung live ko? Baka na naman iba yung imposible naman na nandito kayo eh. So, tama yung live ko. Yan. Okay, so ano yung sagot nyo po dyan? C. C. Okay. Ano yung sagot ng iba? Yan. Ano naman yung sagot ng iba? Diyan. Okay. Ano yung... Tama ba? Okay ba yung tingin nyo, guys? Or medyo malabo? Bakit tinignan ko dito sa ano sa iPad ko eh? Yan. Okay. Para ang labo. Okay? C, 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 C. Yan. Teka lang ha. Yan. Okay. Wait lang para ang ano. Yan. Teka lang ha. Punasan ko lang yung aking, yung ano, yung ating camera. Ayan. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, yes. So, ang sagot po niyan ay okay. Ang sagot po niyan ay AQ or adversity quotient. Okay, kasi alam naman natin kung ano meaning ng adversity, di ba? Yan, ang adversity is difficulties. Okay, yan, yung makalab ay yung ganyan. Okay? So let's see, tingnan natin. Alright, kasi pwede kasi na okay, mamaya natin explain. Alright? Ito naman, unlike intelligence quotient or emotional quotient, which focus on cognitive abilities and emotional intelligence, AQ specifically assesses how people handle challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. Okay? It was coined by Redna Paul Stoltz. Ay, bakit may sagot na dyan? Nay, naku, gusto ko man din kayong surpresahin kay Cupido or si Paul McCartney. Okay? Yan. Yan, okay. So, bakit na? Nako, ilang beses kong inayos to. Alright? So, of course, yes. So, ang sagot niyan ay si Paul Stoltz. Yan. Si Paul Stoltz yan. Noong 1997 pa to. Actually, ano to eh, ang unang nabasa ko tong tong adversity quotient nung pandemic yan. So talagang lumabas yan sa sa Facebook. Ang definition pa nga doon is yung yung you come out from from your problems. Okay? You rise above your problems without losing your sanity. Okay? So, yun yung pagka-define ng adversity quotient noon. So, akala ko, bago yon. Akala ko na-coin yon nung nung pandemic. Okay? Kaya nung nakita ko yung question na to, ginugel ko yan. So hindi pala bago to. It was coined by Paul Stoltz nung 1997 pa. Okay? Yan. Alright, so tingnan natin. Alright, so kasi pwede tayong mabudol dun sa emotional quotient, 'di ba? Yan. Pero may pagkakaiba doon. Kasi ang adversity quotient is you overcome the difficulties. Okay, yan. So, pwede mo rin magamit yung emotional quotient mo kasi ibig sabihin yun, nare-regulate mo yung emotion mo. Okay? But yung adversity quotient, nakafocus sa pag-overcome ng adversities. Okay? Yung emotional quotient naman, nakafocus yun sa pag-regulate mo sa emotions mo. Pag nalungkot ka, kaya mo siya dapat i-regulate. Okay? And also, understanding the feelings of others. Yan, yung may empathy ka. Ayan. Of course, yung IQ, yan, sa cognitive ability mo yan. So, linagay ko na rin dito ha. Yan. So, itong IQ, lumalabas po dito. Yung first na nag-develop nung IQ test is si Alfred Binet. Okay? Pero yung nag-coin talaga ng IQ na term is William Stern. Okay? Please, basahin nyo po to or screenshot nyo or balikan nyo pag na post ko na po ko po to sa FB. Alright? EQ naman, yan kilala si Daniel Goleman. Okay, pero nabanggit ko last time, 'di ba, na siya lang na yung nag-popularize. Okay, pero ang talagang nag-coin sa word na EQ is si Salovey and Mayer, alright? Social quotient naman, ngayon ko lang nalaman, to be honest, si Edward Thorndike pala yan. Yan, okay, yung social quotient. Alright. Social quotient, sinabi ko, hindi ko pala. Social quotient, of course, social. Okay, it pertains to our dealing, okay, with the interaction with other people. Okay? Yan. Okay? Next. Number 2, in international trade, what is the most likely economic effect if a large country imposes a significant tariff on imported steel. Okay, so A, domestic steel consumers will benefit from lower prices. B, global efficiency and specialization will increase. C, domestic steel producers will benefit, but domestic steel consumers and foreign producers will be harmed. D, it will lead to an unambiguous increase in overall national welfare. Yan. Okay? So, ano yung ating sagot dyan? Alright? So, C, 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 C. Okay. C. Okay. Ano yung sagot ng iba? Yan. Mhm. Ano yung sagot ng iba? Alright, so let's see. So, alam naman natin yung tariff, 'di ba? Yung tariff is yun yung ini-impose ng mga pumapasok sa isang bansa, okay? Or yung mga na na ano na nai-import natin, okay? Yun yung tariff, alright? Yan. So, ang sinasabi niya is paano daw ang pag significant amount, meaning may dinagdag sa tariff, ano daw yung mangyayari? And of course, the answer there is letter C. Okay, domestic steel producers will benefit, but domestic steel consumers and foreign producers will be harmed. Okay, sige. So, tatlong ano yan. So, domestic steel producers, okay, ibig sabihin, yung mga nagpro-produce dito, okay, will benefit. Tama naman. Kasi, yung mga mai-import na steel, magmamahal na siya. 'Di ba? So, pwedeng hindi na rin ma-afford, o 'di ba, ng mga gagamit doon. So, bibili na sila sa domestic steel producers, 'di ba? Kaya nga lang, yung domestic steel consumers, okay, like, yung gumagamit, okay, ng mga steel is, and the foreign producers, of course, yung mga nagbibigay sa atin, will be harmed, of course. Kasi, kahit na ano, yung mga domestic steel producers, pwede nilang mahalan din yung sa kanila. 'Di ba? Kasi sabi niya, ay, ano na, ano, mas konti na yung competition natin. So, pwede na nating i-play yung price. Okay, so yan. Okay, so pwede na rin silang magmahal ng presyo. Okay, yan. So, of course, magsasuffer yung mga domestic steel consumers. Alright. Okay, sana all nagmamahal. Alright. Okay, number 3 refers to any liability to pay money arising out of a contract, express or implied. Yan. So, kahit pala implied yon, okay, it is considered that. Okay, A, poll tax, B, taxi debt, or D, debtors. Okay, so refers to any liability to pay money arising out of a contract, express or implied. A, poll tax, B, taxi debt, and D, debtors. Okay. I hope nakikita niyo yung ano. Okay, may nagpi-PM sa akin. Ma'am, totoo ba na ito daw yung sagot? Diyos ko, Lord. Nagpa-pop out. Diyos ko, Lord. Baka ano, anuhin ako ng mga ibang coaches. Oh, bakit mo daw sinabi na ganito? Mali yung sagot ko. Ay, nako kayo. Alright. Okay, very good. Yes, so the answer there is debt. Okay? Yung word pa lang na liability, 'di ba? Liability to pay. Okay? So utang mo 'yon. Okay. Very good. So ito, asset minus debt is A, equity ba yan or payables? Okay, so asset minus debt is equity ba yan or payables? Okay, red ba yan or blue? O yan. Okay, red ba yan or blue? Halatang puyat na puyat ako, namamaga yung aking mata. Asset minus. So, may asset ka, tapos, naalis yung utang mo, is it equity or payables? Okay. Sige nga. Okay, alright. Okay, so it's okay. Kung hindi niya nakuha, it's okay, alright? So the answer here is, ay, no, nagkamali. Okay, dapat equity to. Okay, equity, sorry. Okay, ililipat ko yan. Ililipat ko si Cupido, okay? Nabaliw yung si Cupido. Dapat equity yan. Okay, payables is, babayaran mo pa rin. Payables nga eh, di ba? Ibig sabihin, babayaran pa lang. Okay? So, debt mo pa rin yun. Alright? Yung equity is, yun na yun yung, bale, pinaka-ano mo, pinaka, pinaka-asset mo na kasi wala ka ng utang eh. Yan. So, that is your equity. Okay? Yan. Yan yung kayamanan mo. Alright? So, the answer here is equity, ha? Equity. Nagkamali lang si Cupido dyan. Alright. Okay, number 4. Alright, lipat natin tong ano. Palipat-lipat ako dito. Okay, which section of a research paper provides a detailed interpretation of the results and connects them back to the literature? A. Introduction. B. Methodology. C. Results. And D. Discussion. Kailangan yung i-memorize, ay maano to ha, makuha talaga. Maski ako noon nung bagong-bago ako, nahihilo ako dito. I mean, ano ako na, hindi ko gustong intindihin yung mga ganitong bagay, okay? Yan. Pero, pinilit ko talaga, okay? Kasi, ano to, mga high yield to eh. So, which section of a research paper provides a detailed interpretation of the results and connects them back to the literature? A. Introduction. B. Methodology. C. Results. And D. Discussion. Okay. Okay. Very good kayo dyan. Yes. Okay. Yes. So, of course, yes, ang sagot niya dyan ay discussion. Okay? Kasi, sabi pa lang niya, provide a detailed interpretation of the result. So, hindi ka na sa result, di ba? Hindi, of course, hindi na sa introduction. Dapat mas mababa ka pa doon kasi ini-interpret mo na siya eh. Di ba? Yan. So, dapat nasa discussion ka na. Okay? So, the answer there is discussion. Okay? Yan. So, ito yung IMRAD. Nasabi ko, bakit IMRAD? Bakit hindi IMRED? Okay. Alright. Okay, so IMRED, yan. So introduction, I, methodology, M, R is result, tapos D is discussion. Okay, yan. So ito yung introduction, of course, yung nagbibigay ka ng overview. And napaka-importante yung introduction kasi doon mo malalaman kung bakit ginagawa yung study na yon. Okay, yan. Okay? Yan, ano yung importance niya? Methodology, method, okay? Method. Ibig sabihin, ano yung mga ginamit, okay? Para makonduct yung study. Alright? Ito naman, result. Yan. So, of course, result, yan na yun, yung mga conclusion mo, ano ba yung na-find out mo doon, okay? Yan, hanggang doon lang yung result. Explains what was found. And then discussion, doon mo na gawin lahat yan, yung analyze, interpret, yan. And of course, for you to interpret, dapat i-connect mo yun sa mga literature. Alright? So that is IMRAD. Na bakit hindi IMRED? Alright. Number 5. What strategy did President Ramos use in Philippines 2000? A. Migration of worker overseas. B. Ending military groups. C. Strengthening the peso. And D. Industrial and economic zones. So, what strategy did President Ramos use in Philippines 2000? Okay, A. Migration of workers overseas. B. Ending military groups. C. Strengthening the peso. And D. Industrial and economic zone. Okay, yung Philippines 2000. Yan. So, 'di ba? Ilang beses ko nang sinabi, paborito talaga. Okay? So, kung may time kayo, mag-research kayo about Ramos. Okay? Kasi paborito talaga ng ano 'yan. Paborito ng BPT 'yan. Okay? 'Di ba? Pinalabas yung ano niya, IPRA. Okay, ito din yung Philippines 2000. All right. Okay, yes. So, ang sagot niyan ay yung industrial and economic zone. Okay, totoo naman yon. Okay, yun yung gusto niyang palabasin doon sa Philippines 2000. Okay, kasi gusto nga niyang maging newly industrialized country. Kaya nga how do you call that? Si Ramos yung father of industrialization. Okay, yan. Yan, so yung mga bago dito, linalagay ko lang po dito for your additional reading. Okay? Yan. Kasi dati, nung nagre-review ako, maano ako mabusisi sa details. So, sinusulat-sulat ko pa pag may nakita ako doon, tapos gusto ko pang magbasa, ganyan. So, nagre-research ako ganyan. So, that I'm doing na for you, okay? At with ano na din, how do you call that? Na-summarize na lang din. Alright? For your reading. Okay, especially kung you can avail of the PDF. Alright, blank are used to attract the attention of the reader and are equivalent to a highlight abstract. A. Research summaries. B. Literature reviews. C. Hook sentences. And D. Methodological notes. Okay? These are used to attract the attention dun pa lang of the reader and are equivalent to highlight abstract. A. Research summaries. B. Literature reviews. C. Hook sentences. And D. Methodological notes. Okay, naalala ko talaga si ano. Baka may classmate ako sa ano or mga kasama ko sa ano sa University of the Philippines Open University. Kung maalala nyo yung ating professor dito, paulit-ulit siya sa dapat lagyan nyo ng hook. Dapat lagyan nyo ng hook na ano talaga ako doon. Parang ano ba yung hook? Kasi syempre, nakalimutan ko ng mag-aral noon nung nagkumuha ako ng units ko, ganyan. So, hook, hook, hook na yan. Alright. Okay. Yan. So, yes, very good kayo dyan. So, nakuha nyo naman yan. So, yung hook sentences niyan. Okay, so it is para mag-attract ng attention. Okay, yan. So, nagbasa-basa pa ako noon kung ano ba ang hook, ganyan. Alright? Kung paano ba gumawa ng hook, ganyan. So, of course, yung research summaries, of course, yung summary, alright? Literature reviews, ito yung pinanggagalingan, okay? Pwede mong pagbasehan, especially sa hypothesis mo. Right? Methodological notes, okay? Mga technical procedures, okay? Yan. So, ito, related dun sa four types of abstract. Yan. So, ito, inunahan ako ni Sir Jason. Yan. Kasi nga, di ba, pinalabas natin yung abstract before. Yan. So, sabi niya, uy, coach, ano, meron pa palang different types of abstract. Sabi ko, opo, nabasa ko po yan. Pero sabi ko, isasama ko na lang next kasi, ano, para hindi tayo ano ba, hindi tayo mabulok, okay? Yung sobrang heavy na yung discussion. Okay? So yes, there are four types of abstract. Okay? Yung abstract na sinusulat natin, 'di ba? Dun sa before yung yung sa introduction. Okay, 'yan. So there are four types pala 'yan. Okay? So descriptive. Okay. So ito yung mga four types of abstract. Hindi ibig sabihin na lahat 'to ilagay mo doon sa abstract mo. Okay? Pwede kang mamili. Okay? Depende kung ano yung sinabi nung ano na kailangan mo or kung anong klaseng research yon. Okay, yan. Kaya nga ang nakalagay doon is 100 to 500 words ang abstract kasi depende kung anong klaseng abstract ang gagawin mo. Alright? So, ito, descriptive abstract. Okay, so, ano lang siya? Topic overview lang siya. Okay, sabi nga niya, nakalagay dyan, no result. Okay, hindi mo na kailangang ilagay pa kung ano yung result niya. Okay, linagay ko na rin yan nung, bakit, bakit ito yung dapat klaseng abstract ang isusulat nyo, okay? So, basahin nyo na lang din to, alright? Ganyan. Okay, so next is informative abstract. Okay, yung informative abstract, yun yung halos ginagamit natin, di ba? Nakalagay na lahat yon. Background, purpose, method, results, conclusion, okay? So, ito na yung most common in research papers and thesis, okay? Itong informative abstract. Kaya minsan, di ba, ito yung napapahaba tayo, one page. Yan, kasi kumpleto. Alright, we have the critical abstract. Okay, so, tawag doon, summarize and evaluates the study. Okay, critic. Okay, criticize niya. Okay, how do you call that? Pinipik niya. Alright, ganyan. Okay, so bakit or kailan natin gagamitin or yes, magsusulat ang critical abstract, okay? Kapag nag-analyze and you critique the studies, okay, in literature reviews. All right? And of course, kanina yung highlight abstract, okay? So it makes sense kasi ginagamit to sa marketing. Yan, tama nga naman kasi sa marketing dapat makuha mo na agad yung interest para bumili sila or whatever, 'di ba? Or magkaroon sila ng interest, all right? Or motivation to read. Okay? So, gumamit po kayo ng highlight abstract. Okay? Yan. Number 7, the concept of food deserts refers to urban areas where A. Agricultural production is the main industry. B. There is easy access to affordable fresh food. C. Residents have limited access to healthy food options. And D. Community gardens have transformed the local system. Okay, so actually, halos lahat ng mga andito na linagay ko is halos mga bago. Pero, yung critical thinking talagang matetest nyo dito kasi kahit hindi nyo alam yung yung mga concepts na to. These are all concepts in social science. Pero pwede niyo gamitin yung critical nyo, yung critical thinking nyo kasi pwede nyo namang i-define yung mga words na yon. Okay, yan. Yan. So ano yon? So food deserts. Yan. Okay, very good. Yes. Very good kayo dyan. Yes. So the answer there is Pag food desert, okay, tigang, okay, wala, okay, yan. So, ang sagot niyan ay, the residents have limited access not only to food but specifically sa healthy food. Okay? So, alam naman natin, food, pagkain, desert. Pag desert is matamlay, di ba? Wala. Yan, walang resources, ganyan. Kaya that is why, sabi niya, limited access to healthy food options. Yan. So, ito is na-coined by Scottish Nutrition Task Force. Okay, yan. Okay, so ito naman. In contrast, an area with greater access to grocers or farmers market with fresh food. Okay? Kumbaga kabaliktaran naman niya. May be called A, red food oasis or blue food mecca. Alright, so in contrast, an area with greater access to grocers or farmers markets with fresh foods may be called a food oasis or food mecca. Nag-exist talaga yung mga term na to ha, na-research ko to mga guys. Okay, mukhang nakakatawa pero totoo. Alright. Mm. Walang puso. Okay. All right. Yes, so the answer there is, of course, food oasis, sabi ni Cupido. Yes, it's food oasis. Kasi nga naman, di ba, sa desert is, yung desert is barren, di ba? Pero sa desert, merong oasis, di ba? Alam natin yon yung place kung saan, ano, andun, may water doon and life can thrive there yon yung oasis na yon. Yan. Number 8, this species is also known as the upright man. Okay, A. Homo sapiens, B. Homo habilis, C. Australopithecus, and D. Homo erectus. Okay, so this species is also known as the upright man. A. Homo sapiens, B. Homo habilis, C. Australopithecus, or D. Homo erectus. Yan. Mhm. Yan. Jamo, can you give me some drinks? I'm so thirsty. All right, very good. Yes, very good. So it is Homo erectus. Okay, very good. Okay, so yan. So linagay ko yan. Yan si Papa Balls. Okay, yan yung linagay ko. Nakikita nyo? Yan. Gwapo niya, no? Yan. Sana all. Papa Balls. Okay, yan. So linagay ko lang yan kasi gusto kong sabihin yung usually na lumalabas. I want Pepsi, anak. Okay? So yan yung lumalabas. Yan. So ito is pag who is known for the use of fire. So use of fire is Homo erectus. Okay, yan. Okay, and lumalabas din is it's here though. Okay. Tawag doon. Kailan sila nag-exist? It's Paleolithic. Okay, yan. And it was sino yung naka-discover si Eugene. Why this one? Okay. It's Eugene Dubois. Okay? So, originally, ang Homo erectus, it was called Java man kasi nahanap ni Eugene Dubois, okay, sa Java, Indonesia. Okay, yan. Meron pa yung tanong, hindi ko kasi maalala eh. Kung ano yung tanong doon, sabi niya, which one is not a Homo erectus ata yon. Okay, yun ata yon. Okay, so tandaan nyo yung Java man, Peking man, okay, yun ang ang Homo erectus. Okay, yan. Ang sagot ata doon is tabon man. Yan, tabon man ata. Pinipilit kong alalahan, hindi ko maalala, kaya hindi ko na lang linagay dito. Alright? Okay. So, tingnan natin. Okay, ano yung mga common na? Hello, Palos. Alright, so ano yung common na lumalabas? Okay, pag Homo sapiens, okay, is wise man. Okay, thinking man. Okay, yan. Ito yung wise man because sapiens means wise. Okay, yan. So, the Homo sapiens na term is coined by Carl Linnaeus. Okay? Homo habilis. Okay, alam nyo na po yan. Yung mga matagal na pong nagre-review, ang laging lumalabas din is handyman. Okay, H for H. Handy for habilis. Okay, because habilis means skillful. Okay? Ito naman yung Australopithecus, ang laging lumalabas din is yung southern ape. It is known as the southern ape. It is Australopithecus because Australo means southern and Pithecus means ape. Okay, yan. So actually, yung sa upright man na yan, nauna daw talaga, okay, na na tumayo, okay, na naging bipedal ang Australopithecus. Yan. Kaya lang yung kasing body ano nila is para pa din siyang ape. Okay, yung mahaba pa rin yung kamay, ganyan. But they stood up, okay? Bipedal sila. Yan. Pero yung Homo erectus talaga kasi is shorter hands, syempre, so mas maganda yung pagka lakad nila, okay? Talagang erect na erect. All right? Number 9, in a quasi-experiment design, what is the primary reason a researcher cannot claim definitive cause and effect? Okay, yan. So, maraming nagkamali dito. Okay, so, A, lack of a pretest, B, use of qualitative data, C, lack of random assignment, and D, a small sample size. Okay, yan. So, basically, sinasabi niya, bakit hindi nakaka-establish, okay, sa quasi-experiment, bakit hindi masyado nakaka-establish yung cause and effect. Okay. So, lack of pretest ba yun? Use of qualitative data ba? Lack of random assignment ba? Or di a small sample size? Yan. Okay? Guys, sumagot kayo. Wag kayong mahiya. Kasi mas naalala nyo pag sumasagot kayo. There's 98 of you guys. It's okay. Okay. All right, very good. So, ang sabi niya is ang sagot diyan is lack of random assignment. Okay, 'yan. Ibig sabihin, yung 'di ba ang experimental is merong control group at saka may experimental group, 'di ba? Ang pag sinabi niyang lack of random assignment, ibig sabihin non-random. Okay, non-random sa quasi-experimental. Okay, ganyan. Alright. So, tingnan natin yan. So, nag-away na. Alright. So, dito kasi, yung lack of non-random assignment, yan yung pinaka-key difference ng true experiment at saka quasi-experiment. Okay, so explain natin. Dun sa true experiment, 'di ba? Ano 'yan, random 'yan. Okay, pwede na ako halimbawa na researcher, ilagay ko sa yung mga pangalan niyo lahat sa bowl, 'di ba? Tapos pinipili ko ganyan. Ito dito ka. Ito si ano, dito ka, ganyan. So that is random. Okay, pero sa quasi-experiment, hindi, okay? Naka-assign na talaga sila doon. Okay? And then ang tanong, bakit? 'Di ba? Bakit pa kayo mag-experiment na ganoon kung naka-assign na? Okay? Kasi may mga times na if you assign, okay, randomly is masisira yung structure. Okay, yan. So for example, gusto mong mag-research about sa isang school, o 'di ba? Pumunta ka doon, especially especially in the middle of the term, ganyan. So, meron na silang classroom, 'di ba? So, alangan namang sisirain mo pa yung classroom na 'yon, 'di ba? Kukunin mo yung mga pangalan nila, 'di ba? Tapos tawag doon, dito ka. Eh, naka-assign na nga sila per classroom. So, sisirain mo lang yung natural na alright? Natural habitat, okay? Yan. Okay, so I hope you got it. Number 10, what makes the Philippine flag unique? Okay, A, it changes meaning during war or peace. B, it has 3 stars for branches of government. C, it uses colonizers' colors. And D, it was first used in Southeast Asia. Okay, yan. So, nabasa ko talaga to, yung flag lang daw natin ang ganito. Okay. So, A, it changes meaning during war or peace. B, it has 3 stars for branches of government. C, it uses colonizers' colors. D, it was first used in Southeast Asia. Okay, nung panahon ko, no, nung panahon ni Limahong, ito talaga yung tinuturo na sa amin sa elementary. Paulit-ulit nilang sinasabi na ganun, ganito, ganito. So, ewan ko lang kung hanggang ngayon sinasabi pa sa inyo. Alright? So, tama po kayo doon. Yes. So, the answer there is it changes meaning during war or peace. Okay? So, di ba? Yan. So, tawag doon, blue. Okay? Blue pag sa peace, 'di ba? Pero kapag may war, binabaliktad natin, 'di ba? Pumupunta sa red. Okay? Because yung colors na 'yan they symbolize something else also. Okay? Meron symbolization. Kaya pina-practice natin na baliktarin. Okay? So, let's see. Okay? So, maglaro muna tayo. Right? So, mamaya natin explain yan. The national flag of the Philippines is also known as, okay, three stars and a sun ba yan? Yung red ba yan? Or Filipino flag na blue? The national flag of the Philippines is also known as, okay, three stars and a sun or blue Filipino flag. Okay. Okay, so ayan. So at least hindi na tayo ng RR. Nakakarami na tayo ng viewers. Bumabalik po ulit tayo. So yung gustong mag-Macboard, si message nyo lang po ako sa Blue App. Diretso po kayo doon. Ipasok ko po kayo sa GC. Yan. So libre naman po tayo. Okay? Sa Gen Ed at saka Prof Ed. Alright, sa Social Science major, this week may nag-enroll na 3. So I'm very happy. Salamat po. Yan. Kung gusto nyo mag-enroll, it's just 249. Sulit na sulit. May PDF, 50 points quiz every week. Okay? Yan. Recorded videos. Yes. Alright, ganyan. And meron din po tayong actual Gen Ed and Prof Ed questions. Ginawa kong flashcards. Yan. Actual questions ngayon 2025. Bundle is 199 pesos only. Alright. Okay, sabi ko na nga ba eh. Okay, so, yan. So, ang galing ko talagang gumawa ng ano, no? Ng pampagulo. Okay. Yes. Alright, so the answer there is 3 stars and a sun. Okay, yan. Yan. 3 stars and a sun. Hindi siya Filipino flag. Alright. Ito naman. The first national flag made its debut debut in Kawit Cavite ba yan or Battle of Alapan? Yan. So the first national flag made its debut in Kawit Cavite ba yan or Battle of Alapan? Yan. Okay, red, sabi niya, Kawit Cavite. Okay. Alright. Okay, naglakas loob si Ma'am Trace, blue, ganyan. Alright. Okay, Kawit. Okay, Kawit, Cavite. Alright. Okay, tingnan natin si Cupido. Okay, Cupido, come out. Alright. Sino ang masasaktan ngayon? Alright, ang sagot ay Battle of Alapan, guys. Okay, yes. So, it is the Battle of, right after Battle of Alapan, okay, so, winagayway ang ating watawat. Okay, so, ito, Battle of Alapan lumalabas din ha. Sa Ma'am Trace, tuwang-tuwa. Okay, yan. So, pero alam ko, linagay ko talaga na choice dyan is Kawit Cavite kasi alam kong may mabubudol dyan. Okay, so but it is Battle of Alapan. Okay, kasi nanalo tayo dyan. Okay, uh, yan yung battle between Filipinos and anong tagdan? Spanish. Okay, yan, lumalabas din yan ha. Yan. Okay, so ito naman. So, mabilisan lang to. So, the Philippine flag, basahin nyo na lang din. Okay, so ang nag-design nun ay si Emilio Aguinaldo. Yan, sino yung nag-sew doon? Si Marcela Agoncillo, tsaka yung dalawang kasama niya, babae. Yan, saan? Kung saan? Tinatanong din po yan ha, kung saan? Hong Kong. Okay, yan. Alright, lumalabas din to yung 3 stars. It's Luzon, Visayas, and Panay. Okay, hindi po Visayas. Lumalabas din po to halagi at marami pong nagkakamali dito. So, piliin nyo po is Luzon, Visayas, and Panay. Okay, because Panay represents Visayas at that time. Okay. Okay, so ito yung sabihin ko na bakit pag peace is blue yung nakataas? Kasi yung blue means peace, truth, and justice. Okay? Kapag naman may war is yung red yung nakataas kasi yung red means courage, patriotism, and bravery. Okay? Yan, mapapaisip ka na lang talaga, 'di ba? Yan. So, yun totoo naman 'yon, 'di ba? Yung parang mag-iisip ka yan. Yan, kasi ang BPT lalaruin ka din 'yan 'di ba? Ganyan. So that's good. Okay. Number 11, the Ring of Fire is a major geographic zone known for frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. What major geological feature is it associated with? A. Convergent tectonic plate boundaries. B. Divergent tectonic plate boundaries. C. Hot spots in the middle of tectonic plates. Or D. The Earth's magnetic field reversals. Okay. The Ring of Fire is a major geographic zone known for frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. What major geological feature is it associated with? A. Convergent tectonic plate boundaries. B. Divergent tectonic plate boundaries. C. Hot spots in the middle of tectonic plates. And D. The Earth's magnetic field reversals. Okay, yan. Mm. Okay. So kahit hindi nyo alam 'to, mai-imagine nyo naman, 'di ba? Mai-imagine nyo pa rin naman. Okay? Alam natin yung word na convergent. Alam natin yung meaning ng divergent. Okay? Kahit papaano, 'di ba? Magkakaroon ka ng idea. Okay, so bago natin i-reveal, okay, ang sagot po dyan ay nasa A and B. Okay, so ano lang natin, yung hotspot in the middle of tectonic plates, dyan po lumalabas yung magma. Okay, so wala na po yan. Alright, the Earth's magnetic field reversal, so wala po yung kinalaman sa ating tawag doon, earthquake, okay? So the answer here is convergent tectonic plate boundaries. Okay, yan. So, yun lang yun. Yun lang kasi yung pagkagawa nun. Okay, yan. So, ano muna natin. Okay, so this is related sa plate boundaries. Okay, so there are three kinds. Yan. Yung divergent, convergent, at saka transform. Yan. Guys, at least alam natin, divergent, 'di ba? Hiwa-hiwalay. 'Yan. So ganun din yung divergent boundaries, okay? Yung mga tectonics they move away from each other. Okay? So imagine nyo naman, 'di ba? Yan. So and then kapag nagmo-move away yan, naghihiwalay sila, yan is may lumalabas na bago. Okay, new crust created. Grabe talaga yung Valentine's ano ko ngayon. Talagang naka-focus lang yung mind ko sa naghihiwalay tapos may bago tapos iba yung iniisip ko. All right? Okay. Yan. Ang convergent naman is of course 'di ba? Converge. They move towards each other. O yan. So nagkakaroon ng subduction, okay? Subduction meaning ang subduction means may pumapailalim, okay? So tawag doon, yung plate na denser, okay? Na mas yung density niya is yun yung pumapailalim, all right? Yan. So itong divergent tsaka convergent, ito nagko-cause talaga siya ng earthquake din. All right? Okay. So itong transform boundary, it's okay naman. Ganyan, nag-ano lang sila, nag-slide lang sila. Okay? So walang masyadong volcanic activity dito. All right? Okay, so ganyan. It's very easy to understand. Okay, anong major po ito? It's social science major. Okay. So, walang explanation ha. Nagkataon lang na yung klase ng tectonic plates natin dito sa Ring of Fire is uh, ano, uh, denser. So nagkakaroon siya ng convergence. Okay, yan. Yan lang yung explanation nun. Number 12, a questionnaire uses a scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Okay, what kind of data is this? A, nominal ba yan? B, ordinal? C, interval? Or D, ratio? Okay. Alright. Cause if bago po kayo dito, general science at saka general science, ang general knowledge, general education tsaka prof ed natin is every ano po 'yan. Um every Wednesday po tayo, okay? So ito is social science majorship po talaga kasi nagpapa-enroll po ako, okay? Nagkataon lang po na pinapa-free live ko yung a part of it, okay? So if you want to join Gen Ed at saka Prof Ed every Wednesday po tayo, ha? Yan. All right. Okay, very good. Okay, so ordinal, okay? Ordinal, ang pwede nyo maging mnemonic sa ordinal is may order, okay? So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, ganyan, or strongly disagree, strongly agree, yung mga ganyan, okay? May rank siya. Okay. So, pero matanong ko lang, kasi laging lumalabas to, ano yung scale na to? Yung may nakalagay na agree, disagree, ganon, or happy, happier, happiest, ano yon? Laging lumalabas din yun, guys. Please identify it. Anong klaseng scale yon? Yan, please. Laging lumalabas yun kaya pigain po natin yung utak natin. Yan. Okay. Sobrang galing nyo, oh. Ay, si Sir Jim, andito ba pala? Naghanap ng pa-free eh. Okay, very good kayo John. So the answer there is Likert scale. Yan, di ba? Yung ganyan. Okay, very good kayo dyan. Laging lumalabas. Alright. So, tignan natin ito. Itong nominal at saka ordinal, madali lang yung usually tanong dito eh, yan. So, tinatanong lang dyan kung ano tong kind of measurement yan. So, nominal, ordinal. Pero itong interval at saka ratio, medyo, ano to eh, grabe yung mga tanungan dito. Okay, so let's explain it. Alright? So, nominal, N. Okay, N, ang isipin nyo sa nominal, N for N. Okay, so nominal, name lang siya. Okay, so walang order. Okay, walang mas mataas, walang mas mababa. Okay, so for example, gender, eye color, favorite colors, yung mga ganun. Okay, walang mas mataas, pare-parehas lang po yan. Okay, yan. Yung ordinal naman, syempre, ordinal, merong order. Okay, yan. So sabi nga niya, kagaya nung Likert scale. O, example pa niyan, education level. Yan, primary, middle school, high school, mga ganon. Okay? Alright. So, ito naman, punta na tayo dito. Okay? Matrabaho po to. Okay? So, interval. Ang interval at saka ratio, meron silang equal intervals. Okay? Ibig sabihin, for example, 1 and 2. O yan, meron ba silang interval? Yes, meron sila. Ang interval nila is 1. 'Di ba? 1 and 3 and 5. Ano yung interval nila doon? 2, 'di ba? Yan. So 1 plus 2 3. 3 plus 2 5. Okay? So meron silang both interval. Okay, pero yung interval, okay, walang true zero point. Okay, so let's explain it. Okay. So for example, sabi niya, temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Okay. So pag nakalagay diyan na 0, okay, 0 Celsius, hindi ibig sabihin na walang temperature 'yon, 'di ba? Meron pa din pero mababa. Okay? Oh, another one, nakalagay dyan, IQ scores. Okay? So, pag mababa yung nakuha mo na IQ score, hindi ibig sabihin na wala kang utak, di ba? Na talagang wala ka ng cognitive ability. Okay? It just means na napakababa yung performance mo. Mababa yung performance mo. Yan. Okay. Yung ratio naman, may equal intervals din, pero meron siyang true zero point. Ibig sabihin, kapag zero, zero talaga. Okay? Pag 100, 100 talaga. Okay? So, for example, uh, age. Yan. So, age. Pag zero, zero talaga yung age mo, di ba? Nabibilang mo talaga yan. Okay. Yan. Pag income, pag zero yung income mo, wala talaga. O, di ba? Yan. Yung height naman, pag mas mababa yung ano mo, yung height mo, mas mababa ka talaga. Di ba? So, meron talaga siyang true zero point. Okay. Alright. Number 13. Okay, so malapit na po tayo sa na matapos yung ating pa-free live. Okay, so if you want to enroll po sa social science major, mag-message lang po kayo sa Blue App. Okay, kung gusto lang po nyong mag-Macboard, free naman po yun, mag-message pa rin kayo sa Blue App. Okay, i-add ko po kayo sa GC. Alright, so a researcher studying stress levels among public school teacher distributes an online survey through their personal Facebook network of educator friends. What is the most significant limitation of this method? Ang daming mga ganito. Yan. Okay, A, acquiescence bias. Acquiescence bias. B, sampling bias. C, researcher bias. Or D, confirmation bias. Yan. Alright? So, A, acquiescence bias. B, sampling bias. C, researcher bias. Or D, confirmation bias. Yan. So, yung confirmation bias, naaral na natin last time. Yan. Ilagay nyo po yung number, guys. Yan. Ilagay nyo po yung number. Okay, para hindi po tayo ma-RR. Ngayon po ulit tayo bumabalik sa maganda-gandang Mhm. So, sa Wednesday, gamitin natin yung TV. Okay? Kasi at least hindi ko na ginagamit yung Facebook pag Wednesday. Dito talaga tayo. Free kasi talaga. Alright? Okay, very good. Yes. So, of course, it is sampling bias. Kasi, kumbaga, hindi hindi ano, non-random eh, 'di ba? Halos pinili na niya eh kasi ang makakakita lang yung mga educator friends niya, hindi makikita ng iba. Okay? So, sampling bias 'yon kasi yung pagkuha mo ng sample is very limited. Alright. Yan. So it's ano natin 'yon. So acquiescence bias. Alam niyo yung 'di ba yung lagi nilang sinasabi na oh you just acquiesce. 'Di ba? You just acquiesce. Okay? Kasi acquiesce means okay, acquiesce means agree ka lang ng agree. Okay? Na hindi ka nag-iisip or wala lang, sige, ayaw mo kasi ng gulo, okay? So agree ka lang ng agree. Yan. So that is why yung acquiescence bias means you just tend to agree. Okay? Especially yung 'di ba, yung ang dami-daming mong binabasa lalo na sa sa terms of terms of agreement, 'di ba? Yung agree, 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 agree kahit di mo naman binabasa, 'di ba? Yan. So that is a bias talaga kasi hindi mo talaga naman iniintindi. All right. Researcher bias, of course, ikaw, sino ba yung researcher? Ikaw. And being human, meron ka talagang bias, okay? Syempre meron kang personal beliefs, yung sarili mong opinion. So pag you let it intervene, okay, doon sa research mo, okay, that is already a researcher bias. Okay, confirmation bias, yan yung uh, ang gusto mo lang pakinggan, ang gusto mo lang i-believe is kung ano yung nagko-confirm sa own belief mo din. Okay? Ayaw mo yung kumokontra sa kung ano yung gusto mo. Okay? Or kung ano yung belief mo. Yan. And yet, ang dami pa nating type of research bias here. Okay? Pero hindi ko na iisa-isahin to. Okay? So, I just put it here. I research it for you. Okay? So, it is also your part, okay, to read this. Okay? At least inexplain ko na kung ano yung nasa options. All right? Yan. So, in any way, ito naman, pwede nyo namang screenshot to. Pag gusto nyo maganda pagka-screenshot, pag pinost ko na po to sa YT, screenshot nyo na po to. Okay, yan. Or if naka-enroll pa kayo sa akin, nagbibigay pa ako ng PDF. Alright. Number 14. It is a theoretical explanation of the relationship between tax rates set by a government and the tax revenue collected at the tax rate. Okay, A. Phillips curve, B. Kuznets curve, C. Laffer curve, or D. Demand curve. Yan. So it is a theoretical explanation of the relationship between tax rates set by a government and the tax revenue collected at that tax rate. A. Phillips curve, B. Kuznets curve, C. Laffer curve, or D. Demand curve. Okay, yan. Okay, ano yung sagot nyo dyan? Ano yung sagot nyo dyan? Aba, ano yan? Okay, alright. So, ang sagot po niyan ay, ayan, so ang hinahanap lang kasi natin is yung relationship ng tax rate at saka tax revenue, alright? Yan. So, yan lang yung pinakamadali na na way ko para i-explain to. Okay? Kasi madugo talaga to. Okay? So pag tax revenue collected at saka tax rate, it is Laffer curve, okay? Or Laffer curve, okay? Kasi ito ay yung Philip curve, Kuznets curve at saka demand curve. It has nothing to do with tax, okay? But let's explain it bit by bit, okay? Wala talaga akong alam. Mga bago tong info dito. Social science major po kayo? Social science po to ha. Baka may stress kayo, baka akala nyo Gen Ed ite. Okay? Yan. So, okay. So, ano yung Laffer curve? Okay. Ang sinasabi lang ni Laffer is, there is an optimal tax rate. Okay? Meaning, meron yung percentage, okay? Yung level ng percentage of tax kung saan mamamaximize ng isang government ang ang revenue, okay? Sa pagsingil sa tax, okay? And it is between 0 and 100%, okay? Hindi pwedeng kasi sabi nila noon daw ang iniisip daw ng ng mga tao is the higher the tax rate, mas malaki yung makukuha ng gobyerno. Okay? So, yun daw yung isip ng tao before this Laffer curve. Okay? Sabi ni Laffer curve, hindi. Okay? Kasi, for example, pag zero yung taxes, Okay, syempre saan kukuha ang ano, ang gobyerno ng panggastos, 'di ba? Tax is the lifeblood of the people. Okay? Abid. Be. Hello, Ma'am Ma'am Lothar, sa ano po, sa every Wednesday po tayo. Okay, sa Wednesday po, Gen Ed Prof Ed po tayo. Okay, yan. Yan ang sinasabi niya. Pero pag 100% naman ang sisingilin ng isang gobyerno, eh, bakit pa magtatrabaho yung mga tao kung lahat naman pala is kukunin, 'di ba 'yon? So sabi niya there is an optimal rate. Yan. So ang mga government at that time ni Laffer Curve, tinitingnan nila kung ano yung optimal tax rate yan. Is it 28%? Is it 50%? 'Yon. So nasa gobyerno na 'yon. Okay? Yan ang sinasabi ni Laffer curve, okay? So, this is proposed by Laffer curve, Arthur Laffer. Alright, ito naman si Phillips curve, okay? Ang Phillips curve naman, pinapakita niyo yung inverse relationship ng unemployment versus inflation. Okay, yan. So, basically, ang sinasabi lang niya dito is, kapag mababa yung unemployment, okay, tumataas yung inflation. Kasi nga naman, di ba? Okay, ganito na lang. Let's make it simple. Pag mababa ang unemployment, ibig sabihin mas marami ang employed, 'di ba? Ibig sabihin mas marami ang taong may trabaho. Ibig sabihin din mas maraming pera, 'di ba? Ibig sabihin din pag mas maraming pera, okay? So syempre tumataas yung mga presyo kasi may pera na yung mga tao eh. So, yung mga business sabi na, "Oh, pwedeng dagdagan ko pa 'to, iakyat ko pa 'to, mag-mark up pa ako ng mas malaki." Okay, so of course, kaya nagkakaroon ng inflation. Okay, so this is proposed by William Phillips. Yan. Okay, ito namang Kuznets curve. Okay, please anuhin nyo to ha kasi lumalabas-labas din to sa mga ano, okay? So ito namang Kuznets curve, it is just sinasabi lang niya, okay? Naalala nyo yung linear growth, yung sinasabi nila na lahat ng state magsisimula yan sa ano agricultural, ganyan, tapos pupunta sa ganito, ganyan ganyan hanggang sa maging industrialized, maging modern siya. Okay? So ang sinasabi ni Kuznets dito is ah pag sa early stage ng development sa ng isang ng isang place or a country sabihin mo na is mataas talaga yung income inequality, okay? Kung sino lang yung mga capitalist, okay? Kung sino lang yung yung may pera at that time na may malaking negosyo, sila lang yung yayaman, okay? Pero habang nagpro-progress naman, ayan, yayaman din yung mga tao, okay, yung mga ibang tao, which is kinda din naman totoo kasi ibig sabihin nun magkakaroon ng competition, 'di ba, yung mga workers ah ah, makakahanap 'di ba ng iba pang trabaho, 'di ba, yung mga ganoon. So, pag may competition din yung mga employers din papataas din nila yung mga offer nila kasi 'di ba, hindi kagaya niya na pag ikaw lang yung halimbawa ikaw lang yung may kumpanya, 'di ba? So, syempre kontrolado mo lahat. Ganyan. Okay. Alright, demand curve. Oh, alam niyo na yung po yung demand curve. Okay, price versus demand. Alam na yan. So, when the price goes up, pag mas mahal ang presyo, syempre yung demand bababa kasi hindi na ma-afford. Okay, yan. Okay, so this is our last, okay, sa ating pa-free. Alright, so if you want to enroll, just message me, okay? Gen Ed Prof Ed, every Wednesday po tayo at 10 p.m. It's libre pa din po, okay? Yan. So, which historical figure is most widely known as El Libertador? Okay, A. Jose de San Martin, B. Bernardo O'Higgins, C. Nelson Mandela, okay, and D. Simon Bolivar. Yan. So, which historical figure is most widely known as El Libertador? A. Jose de San Martin, B. Bernardo O'Higgins, C. Nelson Mandela, and D. Simon Bolivar. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Di daw. Okay. Alright. Yes. So, ang sagot niyan ay si Simon Bolivar. Okay. So, bago natin ito si Jose de San Martin, okay, national hero siya ng Argentina. Okay. Alright. Ito si Bernardo O'Higgins, sa Chile naman siya. Alright. Alam na natin si Nelson Mandela, laging lumalabas yan, di ba? Siya yung anti-apartheid sa South Africa. Alright, si Simon Bolivar, okay, siya yung liberator of America. Ito yung niliberate niya. Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Panama, Peru, and Venezuela. Okay, taga Venezuela siya. Okay? Kasi, ito is ano simultaneous doon nung 'di ba, kinolonize tayo ng ano ng Spain. Yan. So itong mga to din, na-colonize din ng Spain yung mga to. Okay? And kumbaga siya si ano, si ano ba ito? Si Supremo, si Andres Bonifacio natin, kumbaga. Yan, si Simon Bolivar naman siya, Liberator of America. Alright, okay, so salamat po sa mga sumama dito sa ating free live. So Prophet Janet po tayo every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Okay? Alright, so thank you and message me. Yan, kung interesado kayo sa ating free mock. Okay? Yan, thank you so much. And punta na po tayo sa Team Supremo. Punta na po tayo sa ating how do you call that? Team Supremo page sa FB. Okay, i-end ko na po yung live dito. Alright. Vavite. Sige po, yung nag-message, sige po, sige po. Okay, message. Replyan ko po kayo mga 1:30 or 2 a.m. kasi matagal-tagal po kasi to, okay? Okay, so just message ko po kayo after this, okay? Bye-bye! Alright.